It's been a strange process making Under Bright Light, because we were rehearsing in, I guess in 2019 and then in early 20, before the pandemic. And then at a certain point it became clear that we weren't going to be coming to Germany, and we had to sort of press pause on the rehearsals. And then there was a long time when we weren't working on it, because we weren't seeing each other and we weren't in the rehearsal room. Everybody was at home. And then we began to make various experiments to see if we would go back to the material, or if we would, in a way, change direction completely. And weirdly, we tried to change. We said we'd do something else. We walk away from the material that we were developing. We go in a new direction. And every time we tried to do that, we ended up getting dragged back to the same material. It's like it wouldn't let go. So try as we might, we couldn't let go. And we ended up back on the same material. So actually what we're doing now in 22 is very close in a way to where we were before the pandemic. But obviously it's grown and shifted and changed in lots of ways, but the core is exactly where we left it. It's interesting. Well, we work always through a process of group discussion and group improvisation, and this project, Under Bright Light, is no exception to that. So we really only can work in the studio. We can have some discussions, but fundamentally, if we can't get on our feet and try things, nothing is happening. So it's really about, and the work comes from that sense of a group of people in a room trying out ideas physically, see what happens. And we plan a little bit, we have expectations, we have thoughts about where we might be going, but always in the rehearsal room, new things start to happen, and it's that, and it's the fact that we're all there and that I can shout to them while they're performing and say, keep doing that, or stop doing that, or, this kind of stuff. It's a very social, organic sort of process, and it needs time in the rehearsal room. That's in a funny sort of way, that's all it needs. So that's the heart of the piece, and that's where all the discoveries and all of the intensity of what we're doing comes from that place. Yeah, I mean, that was, of course, very strange, because in, 36 years, maybe, of the company's existence, we're together a lot of the time. I mean, not all the time, but we're really together a lot. And in this 2 years, suddenly, we didn't see each other except on Zoom, of course. We didn't see each other for a year and a half. There was no possibility to see each other. So that interruption was odd. And coming back into the rehearsal room to work on this project was the first time, really, that we were able to start improvising again and start creating something new from the material. Yeah. Well, like other recent pieces of ours, this piece has one very strong kind of material that we're obsessively diving into, and it's material that we developed, when we started work on the piece, in which they appear to be working. They're moving a set of boxes and ladders and chairs and tables around from one place to another. And at first maybe you think they have an intention with all this stuff, and then after a while it becomes clear that moving these things from one place to another is what they're doing, and that's the material. the atmosphere is in the beginning very comical. It's a kind of crazy slapstick almost of where things should be and where things are going. It's a little bit like watching a cartoon or like a video game animation or something. But of course, what interests us is always this way that if you start in a particular atmosphere, then you can slide that atmosphere to a new place, and the atmosphere becomes more desperate and more stuck and more like they want to break out a little bit from this situation, and they're trying new ways to sort of organize the materials and to stop what they're doing, and it keeps shifting. So across the hour and 20 minutes of the piece, we start in this very bright, very comical mode, and then it just keeps changing and changing and changing until by the end, I think, you really have this thing of how did we get here? And the pleasure for me, I think, is this idea that the material's very simple. It's one thing, and we just keep pressing on that and opening it in a new way and opening it in a new way, and the show comes out of that. It's very weird. I mean, I think when we're working, we were really, in a way, stuck on this material. We couldn't get rid of it. We tried to walk away to do something else, kept going back to it, and I think just took us a long time to figure out what we could do with this stuff to make it sing, in a way that's powerful. And I think, the desire in this work, it's this thing about taking a very simple thing and then opening it in a way that gets to be more and more complex and more involving, and starts to resonate emotionally, starts to resonate politically, starts to resonate in all of these different ways. And you're always thinking back to the beginning where the activity is very straightforward and present, and then it just gets thicker and deeper and weirder, and you end up in a very, very different place. That's the desire anyway, and I think with this piece it's really working. It's also this piece, it's relates to Out of Order, which is the last piece that we made, the last stage work we made, in the sense that there's no talking, they don't talk. So they're busy doing things physically, and it's a lot about the organization of physical activity, energy, the picture, and it's also a lot about the sound. So we're working for the first time with a composer, an artist called Graham Miller, somebody that we've known for a very long time, but this is a first kind of collaboration with him. And the sound's very important because the visual track has its changes and shifts, but all the time the sound is in a sort of relation to that, and it's slightly painting on top of or drawing lines underneath what we're doing. And as what we do shifts, the sound is also kind of shifting and bending, and it changes how you're looking at the action. So it's a very visual piece, and also sonically it's very rich, and the sound element's really important in it.